Friends, family, peeps hanging out on the After Hours Live. We are back. It's not just Wednesday. It's not just hump day. It's After Hours Live day and night coming to you again. And what we're bringing to the table, look, I got Everbowl. Oh my goodness. This thing is delicious. Good thing is going great. And why the heck am I having an Everbowl? It's because one of you is going to get one later tonight. This Everbowl, I don't know if you guys have been there yet. It's off Cantrell. It's right off of Cantrell and 430, but it is a gluten-free, dairy-free acai gourmet fruit bowl. This right here is an apple up. These things are absolutely delightful after workout, midday snack, maybe even a little late night piece while you're sitting up, just trying to get some tasty in. It's basically like a healthy dessert, but it's also fueling and everything. So this thing, apples, cinnamon, acai base, granola, ever oats. My goodness. Winner tonight is going to be getting a $50 Everbowl gift card. And how you want to win, you got to comment Everbowl in the comment section. Say what's up. Hi. We want to see who's going on. We want to see who's hanging out with us tonight. Right here, Dr. Chris. We got the other docs coming on after myself. And we got a fun one tonight. We got a good little combo. It's going to blend of some health stuff, some hot takes, and some cool views going out in the States. So how we're going to be flowing this is we will be going through an unknown metric that is a great way to measure health, each of our own individual pieces. Then we're going to be going in on why the Razorbacks basketball team is just straight losing these days. And then lastly, what's our favorite go-to spot to hang out at in springtime? It's coming. The weather out here past couple days has been perfect. Rainy last week, snowy the week before. And of course, when you're raining, when you're swimming, you might have subscribed to our YouTube channel. But just in the case that you didn't do that during rainy season, it's sunny now, which means it's a sunny day and a great day to click subscribe to make sure that you're getting info and updates on when we're doing our lives. Hit that subscribe button. If you're on Facebook watching this, hit that like button on our clinic page. Please say what's up. Say hi. I don't see anyone saying hi yet. And I know there's 5 people watching, so what gives? Say hi, peeps. I want to hang out with y'all. Alrighty. So before we get going in, first health metric. Majority of health metrics that people are using these days are going to be like blood pressure. They're going to be lab work. There's going to be glucose level for your insulin, because people love to talk about diabetes and how that's one of the big kind of killers these days. People are going to be looking at liver enzymes. They're going to be looking at a bunch of different metrics, but we're each giving our own kind of individual one that's actually a much greater impact on your health and well-being. For me, it is breath. Not just breath, but VO2 max. That is one of the most critical pieces that is a great indicator for how our life is going to be in the long run. Not just how long our life's going to end up being, but the quality of it. We're hyper-focused on, I don't think I've ever met someone who doesn't want their health, and at the same time, who doesn't want to live healthy for a long period of time. Everyone wants a prolonged health span. So how can we achieve that? One of the greatest ways is for oxygen to be able to go through our body, and also for our body to be able to get out stale air. We have to be able to do both. So our breath is hyper important, and VO2 max is a metric that shows the maximum amount of oxygen that our body is able to convert from our lung or bloodstream into muscles in a period of time. So it's the maximum amount of oxygen that our body can take in and get into our muscles ASAP. It's efficiency, it's effectiveness, and that's what our tissues need. When it comes to energy, actual physiologic cellular energy, our cells need oxygen in order to function. So that's not just energetic output during the day of you doing things. That's also energy is required to digest our food. It's required to absorb our food. It's required to convert the salad that we just ate into a heart cell and a liver cell and a muscle cell. We need oxygen to be able to do all those things. When we're sleeping and our brain is trying to repair itself from everything that it was exposed to the day of, and to repair the body for everything that it just underwent to prepare it for the next day it's about to have, it requires oxygen. When we are sick, when we have the flu, when we have the cold, what's actually killing those cells? Our cells need ammo. And part of what makes the ammo, what makes the bullet come out of the gun and fire, is oxygen. We need oxygen. We have to have it. And one of the greatest ways to know if you're able to properly get oxygen into your body, not just in your body, but into your muscles, is a VO2 max. Now, that is a test that you can get where you're actually kind of hammering a bike and you got a mask in your face and you're basically just going till max capacity to see where you're at. But you can actually kind of predict like what your quality of life is going to be like in your 70s and 80s based off of VO2 max you get in your 30s or 40s. It's quite incredible. Now, what can you do if you don't want to get the test? How can you kind of gauge where you're at? An easy way to do it is to pick something like a distance maybe, and it could just be starting off walking. It could be going up a hill. It could be going up a stairs, and just kind of gauging what the difficulty of hardness is for breathing wise. Not necessarily how it feels on your legs or your muscles, but how does it feel breathing? Does your chest hurt from your heartbeat going so rapidly? Is it tough to kind of get air in and out? Are you breathing through your mouth or are you breathing through your nose? Probably one of the easiest ways to increase your VO2 max by yourself is breathing through your nose. So when we breathe through our nose, when we do nasal breathing, we get 18% more oxygen delivery to our body from nasal breathing versus mouth breathing. Part of that is because when we nasal breathe, our nose and brain, when we're doing that, it releases a molecule called nitric oxide, which is a vasodilator. It's when we have vasodilation, it's also going to result in a drop in blood pressure, so we're going to have healthier heart function. We're going to have healthier circulation of blood going through our vessels, and it's going to make our vessels last longer and stay at a higher quality for a longer period of time. Breathing through your nose is a pretty critical piece. They're actually like the ancient Tibetans and Indians and stuff. They thought that if you breathe through your mouth, that's what's going to be the one thing that allows people to get sick. It's through mouth breathing. They would even when their babies would be sleeping and their babies would start kind of sleeping with their mouths open, they would just pinch their mouth shut and start training the kids at a young time to start breathing through their nose. So one way that I do my best to try to incorporate that is sometimes when I go exercise, I'll just take my mouth shut and force myself to breathe through my nose. Because when we do that, it's actual proper physics of our diaphragm. Our diaphragm is like a pump. It's like a piston pump. So it needs to actually suck that, create a vacuum for air to be able to travel in and get out and to be able to get into the deeper part of our lungs and our alveoli, which that's actually where the gas blood exchange occurs. When we're able to establish that with our proper diaphragm movement through breathing through our nose, we're able to get that oxygen into our muscles at a greater capacity. So you might think that breathing through your nose would be harder or shouldn't be done. Why would we have a nose in the first place? If we're not meant to breathe through our nose, why would we even use it? So we need to be able to actually utilize this. Same thing as if you don't use it, you lose it. Same thing with your nose. You need to be able to use it. And that's one of the best ways to be able to increase your VO2 max. An easy way to do that is tape your mouth shut next time you walk. See if that's hard or not. I bet you if you start doing that the second or third time, you're going to find that be easier because your lung volume is going to expand and grow and get bigger and better. Because lung expansion is one of the greatest indicators for longevity of life and health, is lung expansion, lung capacity. That's why all these pulmonauts who are scuba diving great distance, all these free divers, they have excellent lung capacity. And so they're a great predictor for all-cause mortality and prolonged health span. It's our lung capacity. One thing I do when I go hike Pinnacle, take my mouth shut, just force myself to breathe through my nose. And what ends up happening is that I end up having to take less breaks because I'm getting more oxygen into my legs. Side note, I'm seeing people drop an Everbowl in the chat. That is what I want. So far, we got 4 people right now, and I know there's 9 watching. So for those 5 others that are watching, you guys aren't even entering the sweepstakes. $50 Everbowl gift card on the dot. That is what's going on. What's up, Joe? What's up, Troy? What's up, Miss MG? What's up, Melody? Everbowl. Got to get it. Come on. So that's a little quick piece of VO2 max. But secondly, why do the Razorbacks basketball team kind of suck? And I mean, it's an obvious reason, super obvious. We don't have a specific chiropractic centers in Fayetteville. That's literally number one reason. Imagine how many of those basketball players are walking around class right now, walking around practice, going to games, and their nervous system is just not even doing anything. It's just shut down, not operating the way it should. I mean, as a former college athlete myself, I wish I was under upper cervical care when I was playing sports. Oh my goodness, that would have been a life changer. I'm sure all the guys can attest to that. Like if I had upper cervical care, that I had elbow issues, I had low back issues, I would get in spasms having to pitch through that. And I bet you there's tons of players out there that aren't playing clear-headed, that are playing with migraines, that are playing with lower back issues, that are playing with ankle issues, that are playing with numbness going down their arms and stuff. And man, if they had upper cervical care, that team would actually be operating the way that everyone expected it to, which is to win. That's a standard. Last piece, top spot in springtime. For me, it's pretty easy. Dickey-Stevens Park. Travelers baseball is coming back. Season starts in April. I was there probably once or twice a month last year, and I hope to increase that frequency. Thursdays is $3 Thursdays. Super awesome. You just go $3. Go find a spot anywhere in the ballpark. It's a great stadium. Excellent views. They put on a good show. The team is really awesome. Go catch a Travs game. It's super great. And that's my go-to spot in spring. Easy. It's not that hot yet. Stadium is gorgeous. Sunsets and everything is fantastic. That is my go-to spot in spring. So before I hop off, I don't know if you guys are right now, but if you're not subscribed, like, let's get that going. Let's change that. Tonight, don't leave tonight being unsubscribed. That's the main thing. And secondly, how many of you have our app? Raise your hand. I can see all you guys, by the way. I can see literally all your faces right now. Actually, I can't. I'm just kidding. But if you don't have our app, all you got to do is just go to the App Center, type in the specific centers, and get that. That way you're going to stay plugged in on stuff that we're putting out weekly. When we're doing our lives, you get updates for that. We're put out videos, links to YouTube's cool things we see on YouTube and everything for weekend. It's a great app, and we're also still continuing to get more practitioners throughout the area to plug in more and more of their events and their info and everything. So hopefully there are some takeaways there. Hopefully you guys are working on some cardiovascular fitness and well-being. It's important. I am a grade A example of someone who did not care about cardiovascular well-being for about greater than 6-7 years. And all of a sudden I'm back to running and riding bikes again, just because I'm learning about how important cardiovascular is. Start with walking, easy. Walk with friends happening third Saturday. And that's the main piece for what we got going on. So I know next is Dr. Cam. I know he's bringing bombs, and we got Dr. Grant to close this thing out. But I know you guys' mouths are watering with this Everbowl. Just stay on, because end of the show, someone's getting that $50. $50 Everbowl, that's like 5 to 6 Everbowls. And this stuff is dangerously good. So tune in. We got Cam coming next. And hope you guys have some good takeaways.
Happy Wednesday to every single one. My goodness, my friends, it's so good to see you on this Wednesday here. We're doing this every single Wednesday to be able to provide you with a ton of more value, to be able to continue to elevate your living experience by means of health. Today, you heard it. We're going to break down 3 different things. Number 1, a famous or a health metric that you may not have heard of that can actually exponentially take over your results as far as health is concerned. Number 2, what's up with the Razorback team? And number 3, best view in Arkansas in the Springs. My friends, let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started, you've heard it here first. You're going to hear it every single Wednesday. You got to download our app. There's a ton of valuable and amazing information in the app. you need to download the app. You go to the App Store, the specific centers. It's a white background. It's a gray S. Make sure that you download that so that way you're able to stay up to date on all the amazing things that we have going on here at the specific chiropractic centers. Let's go ahead and get to it. We see Jennifer's on, Melanie, Phyllis. Welcome, everyone. Super grateful that every single one of you are here. Dr. Cam, what's my favorite health metric to be able to analyze exactly how I am functioning? Sleep. The reason why I showed you my phone, because for those of you that have an Apple Watch, there's an awesome app that I'm going to talk about. But the biggest thing that we need to talk about, my friends, is sleep. If you are a patient of mine, you hear me talk about sleep all of the time. And the reason why is because sleep is extremely critical. It's just like when you start care, those of you who are familiar with it, just like when you start care, the very first couple of weeks, you may feel a bit tired. And that's because your body needs more sleep to help that nervous system continue to regenerate itself. Much like when you get the flu or a cold, how your body wants to sleep to help recover. My friends, the nervous system is the same exact way. How much sleep do you need to get? What do we often hear? 7 to 9 hours. Here's my response. My response is the younger you are, the more sleep that you need. And research has shown this across the board. The younger you are, the more you should sleep. The older you are, the less sleep you actually need to be able to function. There's an actual chart. If you go ahead and look up sleep chart on Google, the sleep chart's actually showing you the different ages you need based on the American Sleep research recommendation. So it's different per person. This is how you should really track sleep. And guess what? What we tend to talk about is this. We tend to talk about the quantity. Well, I need 6 to 9 hours. I need 7 to 9 hours. It's way more than that. It's about the quality of sleep, because you can be in bed for 9 hours and sleep terrible. If that's anyone on here, go ahead and drop a comment. Let us know. Trust me, I've been there. You've been in bed for 10 hours. You felt really good sleeping. You thought you slept good, but then you woke up and it just doesn't happen. And it's because the quality of sleep is being impacted. So what I want to talk to you about is how to measure exactly how the quality of your sleep is being impacted. If you have an Apple Watch, my friends, listen to me. I have an Apple Watch myself. An app I use is called the Sleep Watch. It's Sleep Watch. And what this app does, I'll actually show you here on my phone. Or there's Sleep Watch and there's Auto Sleep. So I actually use Auto Sleep. You can use either one. Auto Sleep, it's like $4. And what it shows you is it shows you a history, kind of like the Apple rings. And what it does is it shows you exactly how your sleep has been, and more so the quality of it. You know, it shows me my deep sleep, my heart rate during sleep, the quality sleep. So Sleep Watch is what I recommend. But also, here's the thing. If you don't have an Apple Watch, the easiest way and the cheap way, my friends, is this. If you look at getting a Fitbit, I know Fitbits are kind of phasing out, which is pretty unfortunate, because I was actually involved in Fitbit research in college back in Michigan. And when you look at the accuracy of Fitbits, they are extremely accurate. So for those of you that don't Fitbit, I recommend getting like a $50 Fitbit to be able to measure your sleep. What they have on there, they have a lot of valuable information on Fitbit. So sleep is my favorite health metric to be able to look at, because I'm a firm believer that your day starts the night before. Let's go ahead and get into number 2. What's up with the Razorback teams? I'm going to let the other guys talk about that. I want to talk about the Detroit Lions. I want to take a step back and say, come on, guys. I am very proud of you guys. From being a fan my entire life, I was there when they went 0-16. I was there when they went 4-12. I was there when they barely made the wild card cutoff. And I was there this year when they made it to the NFC Championship and they almost beat the 49ers. Almost. Had a great first half. Yep. So Chris is over here. He's all excited. He's a 49ers fan. He's from San Francisco. We had a big rivalry in the clinic last week. But, you know, Arkansas Razorbacks, the basketball team, I appreciate them. I can appreciate their hustle, exactly what they have going on. But the Detroit Lions, guys, if it's a Detroit Lion player watching this, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Keep hanging in there. We'll get to the Super Bowl next year. And Dan Campbell, greatest coach of all time, in my opinion. Let's move to number 3. The best view to catch here in the spring. My friends, it's simple. It's Mount Nebo. Mount Nebo is an incredible experience. My wife and I went up there one time to be able to take some photos for our family. And it was my first time going on a mountain like that here in Arkansas. When I went up there, I was like, this exists here? Man, I'm still learning the state. If you guys have a favorite view, if you could say what your favorite mountain is here in the comments, help me out because my wife and I love exploring it. So my favorite view in Arkansas in the spring is Mount Nebo. They have cabins up there too. It's absolutely beautiful up there. It's family friendly for those that have kids. You know, kids run around. They love the view. So I highly recommend, if you haven't been to Mount Nebo, especially in the spring, let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it together. Reach out to me. Maybe we can do like a group hike there or something. Dr. Chris, he loves hiking. So we can all just do it together. My friends, I hope you found value from this. Again, the 3 things I want to harp on really quick. Again, my health metric is sleep. You have to be able to measure your sleep. Number 2, go Lions. And number 3, Mount Nebo is exactly Pedagine. Funny story about that. When Dr. Chris first moved here, he's from California. We said, what are you doing this weekend, Chris? He's living it up. He's a bachelor, right? I was like, where are you going this weekend, Dr. Chris? He said, I'm actually going to go check out this cool mountain point. I said, what's that? He said, Petite Jean. Yeah, he said Petite Jean. And then Grant and I were like, where? It's okay. When I first moved here, I said Cersei, and now I know it's Cersei. But again, my best view is Mount Nebo. My friends, I hope you found a ton of value from this. We just love coming on here, providing you value. You guys are very important to us, and we want to make sure you guys know that. You guys show up. Some of you show up every single week. That means a lot to us. So make sure that you tell your friends about this, share them on the live. We have Dr. Grant coming on. You guys already know what's going to happen when he comes on. I really want you guys to know this. We care about you and we appreciate you. God bless you, my friends.
What is up? Back again. Wednesday night. After Hours Live with the Docs. Hope y'all enjoyed Dr. Chris and Dr. Cam as much as I did. If y'all can't tell, we have a great time in the office. We have so much fun. We genuinely enjoy being around each other. We genuinely enjoy being around the people we take care of. And I think that the culture you work in, I think all of you guys can appreciate that we have so much fun. And if you're not in a situation at work that is a fun culture to work in, it just becomes tough, right, on a day-to-day basis to just be purpose-driven. And so we're going to be giving away an Everbowl here pretty soon, and not just one Everbowl. If you do math on a $50 Everbowl gift card, that comes out to somewhere in the ballpark of 4 to 6 Everbowls, depending on how many you want to get. So this is for the whole family. We're going to give these away. I am part owner of Everbowl, in case you guys don't know that as well. I highly endorse and stand behind this product, which is why we brought it to the city of Little Rock. First franchise available in the state of Arkansas, actually, which is amazing. And I can't agree more. Anywhere in the state's beautiful. Good to see you, Miss Phyllis. Good to see you, Miss Tanya. Arkansas is a beautiful state. We got so many places in the spring. I'm going to divulge one of my favorite spots, which when I talk to people, it's not one that's popularly talked about. It's not one that's really talked about a whole lot. And it's really interesting to me because during the springtime, it's amazing. If you've never been to this spot, you've definitely got to go to the spot. And if you have, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about.
But first and foremost, we're talking about health metrics that maybe are not popularly advertised or maybe not wildly talked about. When we talk about health metrics and we talk about ways to measure health, if you actually look at the definition of health, it says not merely the presence or absence of symptoms, but the body's ability to adapt naturally to everything that the body is going to withstand and incur in a lifetime. And so good to see so many people on here tonight. We appreciate you guys for showing up here. We try to each up the ante. And like I said last week, you are not going to I think I'm back now. And we're back. Having some Comcast issues again, as always. I think we're breaking the internet because of how many people are on here live, which is a good thing in a stream. We're going to figure that out. We're going to figure out why Comcast can't get it together. But nonetheless, Troy, to see you today, my friend. And yeah, now Everbowl. So everybody's trying to win the Magic. This is actually my favorite bowl, which has the blue Magic. It's got the cocoa love and the mango. All in case you guys didn't know what acai base is or what sorbet is, it's fruits blended up and frozen. So it's not an ice cream. It's literally a sorbet. So really healthy, good properties, fiber, vegan, dairy free, really, really great. Lots of fiber, lots of good carbs and proteins. If you want proteins, you can pop that on some almond butter and some peanut butter. But nonetheless, back to what I was talking about earlier when we talk about health metrics. A lot of times people look at blood work. They look at a lot of things that are kind of mainstream. But one thing that's often not talked about that is also on a lot of your functions and your watches that people wear is heart rate variability. That's one I'm a big fan of. It's one that is widely not talked about enough or widely looked at, because the reason it's so critically and it's so important and it's a huge component of health is because what it's measuring is the body's adaptability. It's measuring how well our body adapts to the stresses and the workload that's put on it every single day. How well do you adapt? I would make the argument, and I've been practicing chiropractic for 8 years now, going on 9. I would make the argument it is impossible to live an absolutely pain-free life. There is no way you're going to live to the age of 40, 50, 60, and definitely 70, 80 and beyond and not experience some pain throughout your life. If you go and do a CrossFit workout tomorrow, I can promise you when you wake up the next day, you are not going to feel good. You are not going to feel good. Let me pay the dummy tax on that. I've done many of them. You wake up the next day, your hamstrings and your quads, they don't feel good. Your biceps don't feel good. Your abs don't feel good. But that pain is inevitably because of a stress that was placed on it. When you walk out and slam the door and your finger gets caught in it, that's going to cause pain. The whole key to the game and the whole key to health in our viewpoint here is adaptability. How well and how resilient is your body at what it's encountering on a day-to-day basis. And our job here as healthcare providers, and not sick care providers, there's a difference, is health comes from the ability to adapt to those things that you're encountering on a day-to-day basis. For example, if you went over to the Mexican restaurant across the street and you ate fajitas and those fajitas were 5 days old and they had E. coli, your body's going to express symptoms. At least I hope it does. Because your body's natural instinct and response to adapt to that is diarrhea and vomiting. That's your body's natural response in a healthy way to something that invades your body. And the symptom, therefore, is an expressive way to look at adaptation. So adaptation, one of the best ways to measure that is infrared thermography, which we use, but also heart rate variability. That's something you can track and look at. And it's one of the things that as a metric, we're going to start incorporating. And we would like to see at one point one day where someone has that functionality that will alert them when it's time they need to be checked that their heart rate variability is in a suspicious range or a suspicious zone. So if you have a watch, if you download that app Dr. Cam was talking about, it does quantify sleep, but it also does look at heart rate variability. Heart rate variability is an incredible way to put a metric to health, and it does have a huge indicator on your health survival value, which is another thing you want to really take a look at is your survival values. Positive survival values is something that's really critical. It's what allows you to adapt to every single thing that you're encountering on a day-to-day basis. Harsh workouts, stressful work environments, change in the weather, change in the seasons. Your body has to adapt to all these things. If it's not adapting well to those things, that's what allows sickness to creep in. Second thing, before Comcast really screws me on the internet connection again, why do the Hogs suck? I am the biggest Razor fan. If you guys come in, you know this. And by the way, if you're just joining us, feel free to tell us who you are and where you're joining in from, and drop Everbowl in the comments to make sure you get in the winnings for the $50 Everbowl gift card, and make sure you not miss next week, because next week our giveaway is going to be in the 4-figure range. I'm going to say that again. It's going to be in the 4-figure range. You do the math on that. That's $1,000 or more. I'm just throwing that out there. Now, the Hogs, I'm one of the biggest Razorback fans out there. It's really easy to be a baseball fan because our baseball team usually wins every year. And I was also a baseball player in college, so I'm biased. I love baseball. But the basketball team, Lord have mercy. I don't want to know how many of those fools up there in Fayetteville are getting their central nervous system checked, because I'm here to tell you, looking at the disfiguration and the chaos I'm seeing on that basketball court, there can't be clarity there. There can't be any sort of clarity going on there and any clear communication. I see turnovers, a lot of turnovers, and turnovers are a lack of communication. Turnovers are, I don't know what you're doing. I'm throwing the ball there. You're not there anymore, and the ball goes out of bounds. I'll tell you what else I see a lot of: selfish play. Oh my goodness. I see a bunch of just street ballers out there that are just kind of just, I'm here for me, and I'm trying to get mine and go to the NBA. Yeah, I had turned it over. I'm going to let you go down there and dunk it on me. And then the last thing I'm going to say about the Hogs is this: it's really tough to gain confidence when you're dropping L's. When you get a bunch of losses, you lose confidence. There's nothing worse than a lack of confidence. Here's what you don't want also as a healthcare provider who doesn't have confidence, much like a basketball player who doesn't have confidence. The third thing and final thing we're going to close out with, and then we're going to do this giveaway here. One last second. If you're just joining in here, drop Everbowl in the comments. We got lots of you guys entered for this. So we're excited to give this away to a lucky viewer. This is going to be great. It's good to see everybody. Troy, Kim, Megan, Tanya, Phyllis, Mrs. MG, Mrs. Melanie, and the list goes on. That's just the names I can see right here in front of me. Last thing, my favorite spot in the state during the springtime. Wait for it. Drum roll. Garvin Woodland Gardens. If you have never been to Garvin Woodland Gardens during the springtime when those flowers are blooming, you have not lived. You have not. That wedding chapel during that time of the year, good luck. If you're getting married soon and you want a wedding venue, do not look at that chapel in Garvin Woodland Gardens, because I can promise you it's booked. The reason that it's booked is because that place is incredible during the springtime. The flowers bloom. It's actually owned by the University of Arkansas. The actual land was donated. I just found this out on my podcast, actually. I was interviewing the mayor of Hot Springs on the Spa City podcast. Shout out the Spa City podcast. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should. Spotify. I was talking to him, and he actually told me, I said, who owns the land at Garvin Woodland Garden? And Melanie's saying, yes, the tulips. They're incredible. The tulips, the daffodils, the flowers you can't normally see anywhere else are in Garvin Woodland Gardens. It's owned by the University of Arkansas. That land was actually donated, and the University of Arkansas took it over and turned it into a sanctuary of flowers. And oh my gosh, during the Christmas time, it's incredible with the Christmas lights and whatnot. But during the springtime, oh my gosh, it's breathtaking. It's one of my favorite spots during the spring. You got to go check that out. And the best part about it too is you can check it out by water. They actually have docks. You take a boat, park the dock, and walk up to it by water. A little hack there if you don't want to deal with the traffic. Let's do this giveaway. Here's what we're going to do. We got all these fine folks out here who have dropped Everbowl in the comments. I am just going to randomly, like we do every week, I'm just going to pick a number. How many we got? 15 people. 15 people comment Everbowl. One last ditch second effort shot for you to comment Everbowl if you're just joining us late. Into the comments. And what we're going to do is I'm going to bring Cam on here, who's producing currently. He's going to pop on here, and he's going to do a random series. You have the ability to do that, Cam? You can do a random series number generation. You actually can do that?
Yes, sir. Yep.
We got 15 people. Show them that it's show them that look, I can't see that. I got to put it on the camera, bro. There we go.
Give me a random number between 1 and 15.
Oh.
4.
4. The random number is 4. Who's number 4?
We have 1, 2.
Oh, lucky
3.
number 4. Now everybody's counting the comments. Everybody's counting them.
Melanie is the fourth.
Melanie Alba, 2 in a row.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, Melanie won last week, so we're going to honor Melanie's gift card. So Melanie's going to get the 50. We're going to give away a second one. We're going to do 2.
Okay.
Like you said, we're going to do 1. we're gonna as like always, like we try to do, we're gonna under promise and over deliver. Never over promise and under deliver in anything. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna over promise. Yeah, let's get one more.
Give me a random number between 1 and 15. 11.
Who's number 11?
1, 2,
Lucky number 11.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
We're counting.
8, 9, 10. Megan Henry.
Megan Henry. Oh, and she's one of our biggest Everbowl fans out there. Megan, $50 gift card. That's awesome. I know Megan loves Everbowl. Megan is one of our biggest fans at Everbowl. I know that to be true and for a fact. Tanya Earls is like, 3, give me 3. Tanya, keep popping on. Hey, listen, you might win the big one next week because here's the thing. Each week, we're just going to keep up in the ante. So, Melanie, congratulations. You won last week as well as this week. And Megan, congratulations for winning this week as well. Listen, hope you guys found some of this valuable. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as we do. Pouring into you guys, as always, just in closing here, our mission here at the Specific Chiropractic Center is to be the beacon in our community, a place for the sick and the hopeless, a place where people who innately believe that they are not defined by their life is not defined by their diagnosis. This is the place for you. And our vision here is to make Arkansas the happiest, healthiest state in the entire planet. And we're about that. So until next week, tell your friends, make sure you put that reminder. We try to send you guys out plenty of reminders via the app. If you've downloaded the app, you'll get that reminder. If you're in our free Facebook group, you'll also know that. Happier, Healthier Arkansas. If you're on our email list, make sure you tune in next Wednesday at 6:30. The prize we're going to be giving away, keep up with our socials. It's going to be in the 4-figure range because we're going to have a little drive going on. You're going to have to do some things. But that's okay. You're going to have to jump on here live. You're going to have to do a few things for us. But if you do those things, you're going to be entered to win a gnarly prize. And until next time, I'm going to go smash this Everbowl for dinner because I can and because it's good for dinner, just for breakfast and lunch because it's got good health properties. And then I'm going to go snooze, make sure my sleep score is good. I'm going to make sure my VO2 max is dialed. And I'm going to make sure my heart rate variability is dialed in. Folks, until next week, that's all for us. See you next week.